What's happening in your business community now?
Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Business. Today I have the pleasure of Anthony joining me and we're going to talk about business reviews. Now, we know we only talked about these recently, but today we're going to talk about how to get more for your business, the good, the bad and the ugly of it all. So Anthony, you are really focused on reviews at the moment for your clients, aren't you?
We have. We've just seen, it's one of those areas which we've worked with for a long time, but we're just starting to see a huge shift in the conversion rate or the efficiency of people's online activities when we focus on trust. And really, reviews are just a bit of social proof, talking about the public looking at it and seeing whether they can trust doing business with us. We've got some fairly stunning statistics out there which have come from research that others have done. Some of them, things which I'm still trying to get my head around, the fact that only 53% of 53% of customers wouldn't consider dealing with a business rated below 4 stars. And a lot of us just let it happen by chance, letting our reviews grow. But when you start to think about that, imagine putting a gate out the front that says that half the people walking past your business won't walk in the door if you haven't taken control of one particular activity. So it's something which has a huge impact there. And we've seen done, well, we've seen done badly, and we've seen neglected completely. So there are 3 different approaches to pretty much anything in your business. You can do it well, you can do it badly, or you can just forget about it, in which case you may as well say you're even doing worse than badly. I'm going to start with the negatives though, because we all love a bit of pain. And when we look at the negative, the worst way a business can handle their reviews is by starting to get into the murky space of getting their staff to write them, getting their friends to write them, getting their family to write them for their business. Because as a customer, we start to look at it and go, that just doesn't smell right. I've got some teenage kids and they have these insane BS detectors that can pick up fake from 100 metres with their eyes closed. They are really onto it. And I think it's part of the fact that they've just been immersed in this digital economy from the point of birth and can work out when things are real or not. So when people look at building up a review on an online reputation basis, the first thing I say is be absolutely authentic in it. Don't take shortcuts. I haven't come across anyone personally, but I've seen businesses which have done them and they stand out like the dog's proverbials, that have gone and solicited or paid for a service to get 20 reviews written for their business to kick them off. But it's just as obvious when it's Bob Jones's plumbing business, and Sarah Jones, Sam Jones, Anthony Jones, and Bill Jones have all been the first 5 people to leave a 5-star review saying, "Geez, Bob's really good at his plumbing service." It's really clear that you're doing that, and from a customer's point of view, it's actually worse than having no reviews, having a whole bunch of fake stuff that goes there, because the immediate thought is, what are they hiding? So let's get on.
There's a lot of that going on at the moment as well. And guys, this happens on social media as well as on Google. So when we're talking about reviews, we're not just talking about Google reviews. I have seen so many people buy Facebook reviews, and it's so clear. And I think that's why Facebook changed from going, they had their rating and, whether you had a star rating, to going to recommendations, which a lot of people at the moment are talking about how that's different. We're not going to dive into that, but that's why Facebook changed.
It's still a part of that puzzle. And, when we talk about an online reputation profile, it extends beyond Google and extends beyond Facebook. And there's places out there which you really need to be monitoring, keeping an eye on, things like Yelp, for better or worse. A new one I came across today, it's maybe not so new, but Bark, which is only one that I've seen as of today. And I thought, wow, there's another spot you've got to keep an eye on. TripAdvisor still has some relevance out there in the tourism sector. Zomato, gosh, the list goes on and on as to places where your customers can, for better or worse, leave you a review. You're doing a great job, you'll all of a sudden see a 5-star pop up against your name. You're doing a bad job, well, you'll probably see your 1-stars popping up there as well. That's an interesting point on it too, and I agree with Facebook. Initially, I didn't. I disliked the idea of moving away from a star rating to a review or a binary, yes or no. But I think, looking at the latest evidence from Google, I think it's somewhere about 75-80% of reviews that are left are either 1-star or 5-star. So we're pretty polarised in this space, and it makes sense. Unless I've had a great experience or a terrible one, I'm probably not going to be bothered leaving a review. But I think that's something which we will start to see some movement on. It's a prediction for the year, as we'll see some movement on Google around perhaps the star rating system and maybe different versions of it. The good thing is, from a customer's point of view, you can look at it and go, well, this is where they sit on a scale. So we can keep it, it makes it easy for us to look at, which is maybe why they'll keep it. So how do we actually get these reviews? Well, a lot of people have tried a lot of different things. We can, sometimes send an email out to our customers after we've done business with them. There's a tool which we absolutely advocate for called Net Promoter Score. It's by Bain & Co. developed it. And it is designed to measure how, what percentage of people are going to be active promoters of you. And that's a great in-house mechanism that allows you to track it. We'll actually keep that as a topic for another TWIP, if that's okay, focusing in on just on the Net Promoter Score and what you can do with that information, how you can measure it. But using an email, getting out to people, asking them what they think about you, great first step. Sending a text message, often overlooked, but text messages have nearly 100% read rate, certainly 100% delivery rate if you've got their phone number right, but it cuts through into their day. Let's not, annoy customers all the time because you can get through to them, but there's a cost associated with it. Think about it. Looking at developing a process within your business is probably paramount. The technology you use does matter, but having a process that you can use to actually make sure that every single customer's experience is evaluated, and you build that into your systems and really make sure that your staff have got buy-in to it. We work with a couple of organisations where these reviews actually form part of their staff's incentive packages. So that, when a customer will call out and say, gee, Louise is fantastic at her job and we're really grateful for the service she provided us, those kind of call-outs are really valued, and we, as a business, we recognise and reward Louise accordingly. So that's something which we've certainly picked up and seen run quite successfully. That there, I guess, the top tips. The number one is actually start to build a process and then look at the tools that you're going to use to build that process to solicit those reviews. But it just can't be left to happen to chance. Do you see yourself, Louise, what do you see with clients you're working with? Do many of them actually have a system in place for adopting these reviews?
Look, I work with obviously some very small micro businesses, and I have a couple of clients that are a bit bigger. And it's a very mixed bag as to what they want to do. But I will say the places they all fall down with their reviews is Google and Facebook. They may get a testimonial written to them, but no one's going to go put that somewhere. What we're finding with my bigger clients is, people will write a nice testimonial for their services, and then that's it. That's as far as it goes. It doesn't go any further. But I actually see it as a good customer service, because you're following up with clients after. And I have implemented something with a client that you and I have actually spoken about, making it better. But it's a good customer service to follow up, because you're checking in with them to see how their experience was, not just because you want to be a bit vain and say, oh, wasn't I wonderful, but you're genuinely checking in to say, how do I do this better to serve you better? Which I think is a really nice way to approach it.
Mm-hmm. So the key takeaways that I guess I want people to look at, recognise that your reputation is something that's measurable. It's not something that you can leave to chance. Build a system for improving it, and take the feedback that you get in your reviews, both positive and negative, and build that into your business. So if people are saying, your steaks are gristly, fix up your steaks. If people are saying that it's a great fun place to go to, recognise that that's a huge marketing asset that you need to be communicating. The word fun is what people think of you. That's probably my key takeaways from today.
So I've got a question for you, Anthony, on this. Should people be responding to reviews that they receive?
Every single one of them, every single time. Yep.
So guys, if you're not doing it, do it.
Yeah, ideally. That's part of that system and process. But yes, because if you're doing a good job, customers love to see that you're actually acknowledging it. If you're doing a bad job, or you've got a negative review from somebody who's just got a bee in their bonnet, how you respond to that and how you show up in public to address it makes all the difference. You can make the situation worse, or you can make it better. And we've seen both out there. And sometimes just calling out the facts for what they are, you can actually do a really good job to ameliorate a really adverse review.
And talking about reviews and this process of your online reputation, we do have a workshop at the end of this month that Anthony is running about managing your online reputation. Not just about reviews, but about your overall online reputation. So if you want to improve your processes and you want to know how to do this better, please come along to that. We'll send an email out next week with the details and the booking details, but we would love to see you there to help you continue to grow your businesses. So thank you very much, Anthony. And we will we're going to talk to Kingsley next week, but we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. See ya.
Thanks.